Nicotine is the addictive substance in vapes and tobacco, and it's the main reason quitting is so difficult. But how does this small molecule take control of your brain? First, we need to understand acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter. Acetylcholine binds to two types of receptors, muscarinic and nicotinic. We will focus on nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, which are ligand-gated ion channels on the surface of neurons and muscle cells. These receptors consist of 5 protein subunits, forming a central pore that opens when acetylcholine binds, triggering a change that allows positively charged ions like sodium and calcium to enter the cell. This influx changes the neuron's electrical charge, making it more likely to fire an electrical signal. Calcium is crucial as it acts as a secondary messenger, activating cellular processes such as neurotransmitter release and gene expression. Now, enter nicotine. This small molecule resembles acetylcholine closely enough to bind to nicotinic receptors, just like the natural neurotransmitter. Think of nicotine as a fake key that fits the lock of these receptors. When it activates these receptors in brain regions like the ventral tegmental area and nucleus accumbens, it allows sodium and calcium ions to flow into neurons, causing a positive charge that increases the likelihood of generating an electrical signal. The calcium influx triggers events that lead to the release of dopamine and other neurotransmitters in the ventral tegmental area, which then binds to receptors in the nucleus accumbens, producing feelings of pleasure. But nicotine doesn't just boost dopamine, it also affects other neurotransmitter systems. By binding to nicotinic acetylcholine receptors on glutamate neurons, it increases glutamate release, which excites dopamine neurons further. Also, it modulates GABAergic neurons, reducing their inhibition on dopamine activity, and stimulating noradrenergic neurons to release norepinephrine, heightening alertness and arousal. Unlike acetylcholine, which is quickly broken down by acetylcholine esterase, nicotine is metabolized in the liver by cytochrome oxidases, primarily CYP2A6, into inactive metabolites like cotinine, which are eliminated through urine. This slower breakdown allows nicotine to continuously stimulate nicotinic receptors, prolonging its effects. Nicotine addiction revolves around the brain's reward circuitry. When nicotine binds to nicotinic receptors, it increases neurotransmitters in the nucleus accumbens and other brain regions, creating feelings of pleasure that reinforce nicotine use. But addiction isn't just about dopamine. Glutamate also plays a key role. This neurotransmitter helps with learning and memory, and repeated nicotine exposure enhances synaptic plasticity, the brain's ability to strengthen connections between neurons. Over time, cues like specific place or routine become associated with nicotine use. As exposure to nicotine continues, the brain adapts by changing receptor expression and altering neurotransmitter balance. These neural adaptations lead to tolerance, require higher doses of nicotine to achieve the same release of neurotransmitters. At the same time, dependence develops. When nicotine is absent, reduced dopamine and glutamate activity result in withdrawal symptoms, including irritability, anxiety, and intense cravings. Whether you're a user or just curious about how nicotine works, Gaining insight into the science can provide clarity. Believe in your ability to achieve great things, and thank you for watching.